Hey guys, Fig New Records here, back with Every CD I Own review. Today we're going to be talking about Shiny and Oh So Bright Volume 1 slash LP No Past, No Future, No Sun. Isn't that a little bit of a tongue twister? Not really, it's just fucking long as shit for a title. But what it lacks in, or what it doesn't lack in title, I guess, I mean, I don't know what I'm trying to say, honestly. But what I will say about this is it's a really cool fucking album. Honestly, I will say this album put me up with the highest hopes for the next album that came out, and really, really let me down with that one. But yeah, let's talk about it. Starting off with Knights of Malta, you got a really cool, more upbeat, more like epic track because you got a little bit of a like a little bit of backing female vocals that really like boost up and give it more of a I don't want to say a choir sound. Maybe that's wrong, but that's all I can think in my head. And then it goes into Silvery Sometimes Ghosts, which gives me like super old school, very classic Smashing Pumpkins. That's what I love about this album. This is to me is very classic Smashing Pumpkins albums. And then you go into Travels, another good song. Solara, which is really fucking cool, really, really, really great song. And you kind of get into the softer stuff with Alienation. Um, then on to me, the three weakest tracks on the album, Marching On with Sympathy and Seek and You Shall Destroy, kind of at the end there. They're not terrible, but I just don't think they're as good as the first five, personally. But on an 8 song album, that is kind of big. So um, it is what it is. But to me, this album is pretty damn good and kind of took me back to the early the earlier albums of Smashing Pumpkins. Honestly, like to me, it's up there with something like Siamese Dream, Melancholy. I mean, it's not as good. I'm not saying it's as good. Gish, like it's up there in that kind of style, but it's still not quite there. But it is definitely up there for me. I'd say it's probably in my top five. I want to say I'd have to, I don't want to be saying crazy shit. But yeah, it's probably like Gish, Siamese Dream, Melancholy. Uh, yeah, I'm trying not to like think too hard about this, but yeah, I think it's probably up there because those are probably my top three. The first three albums, or four. Uh, but yeah, let's dive back into this album though. This album, of course, released in 2018, was kind of like to me at least, it felt like um, a big thing because it felt like nothing had come out for Smashing Pumpkins in a long time. Um, and this album really blew me away because like, damn, it's really good. It was on Napalm Records, which I don't know how long they've been on Napalm. I don't know. I don't think like Oceana or anything was on Napalm, was it? No, it was not. I was gonna say yeah. So this is going back to like the more metally, like heavier, grungy style, and it's really cool. And then they disappointed the fuck out of me personally. I don't know if anybody else felt this way. I really fucking hated if it's Sear, how you say it. I really did not like that fucking album. It really fucking stunk to me after this one. That one like was weird, like I don't know, dude. I remember just not liking it. I haven't really given it a chance since I first tried listening to it. And I haven't listened to any of the new albums since. I haven't listened to Adam. Um, and I haven't listened to I guess that's it so far. And then they re-released Machine. Nah, so yeah, just kind of put a bad sour taste in my mouth. Sadly, even though I do love this album. It's like really hard, and then that kind of like shares like the same album style, like cover style. It's really weird, and I wish it wasn't that way, but nevertheless, that is how it is. So I guess we'll have to rank it. All right, this isn't in D. I accidentally put it up when I was setting this up, so it's not in D. So this album's mixed for me because I really, really like that first half, and I think is really, really stacked for the first 5 songs, and then the second songs I just don't end up in my rotation as much. I don't think they're like terrible. Like Marching On is a pretty heavy song, which is kind of cool. And then with Sympathy and Seek and You Shall Destroy, they're okay. They're just okay songs. Like I think it's got to go B. I really, really, really like this album, and I do think it's like I do think it's a lot better than this album, but I think the problem is those last 3 tracks really hold it back for me a little bit. Um, but I would say it's a solid B. Like I think it's not quite these albums. I think these albums are still better. I do think it's a really good album though, and I don't want people saying, "Oh shit, you only put that in B." That's fucking the comeback of Smashing Pumpkins kind of thing. Like, no, it's really good. I'm not saying that, but it still has its flaws, in my opinion. Um, and I really think it is a cool album. I would probably give it probably an 8 out of 10. I would say. I think it's a solid 8 out of 10 album. Just like I said, like I think the highs are higher than its lows, so like a lot higher. Like I said, Knights of Malta, Silvery Sometimes, and Solera are like fucking amazing tracks. Um, and then you got Travels and Alienation are really good, and then like I said, just those last 3. But I think this album is a dope piece of going back to early grunge, everything like that. It is awesome. You guys should definitely check it out if you haven't. But that's all I gotta say for today. Stay tuned for more episodes. Follow, like, subscribe, turn on notification bell for more. But that's all for today, guys. Peace.